Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Coppin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
We have decided no video today. No video. The scale is not in my favor. So no more video, Jason. I wonder where your fuzzy went. See, this is why we don't have video. You lost your...
Man. Oh, here it is.
Oh,
right
there
here.
you go. Yeah. You lost your fuzzy. See, this is why we don't have video to start the show. It was planned.
Yeah.
It was
that's
all
nice.
planned.
That's nice.
Bam. There we go. Now it's here. When
All
I say
right.
the fuzzy... The little windscreen on.
Yeah.
You know, those headphones are notorious. They're kind of mid-level headphones. Those are about $250 headphones.
Night.
So, I mean, this one, I was blessed. This is a $450 headset.
Wow.
And a buddy of mine had ordered one of these, and a lot of broadcasters use these for play-by-play because they're really good. Those are really good, too, the other ones. I use those for years. But he got me this because he ordered one for himself, and they messed up the shipping and it went somewhere else. And so he called them and they reshipped another one. This one came in. He called the company like 2 weeks later, just showed up. He called the company and said, hey, and they said, it's a mistake. We've already filed on it. Just keep it. And he blessed me. He sent it to me.
Praise the Lord.
So I've had it for like 4 years.
And that's why you sound so good and I sound like a hillbilly on here.
Nah, man. Don't sound. You sound great, J Bay. So, hey, welcome in, friends, as we get rolling here on this very faithful and thankful Thursday. Faithful Fridays tomorrow. Thankful Thursday today. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go visit my good friend Elliot Herzlich. And, of course, here on this Thankful Thursday, big shout-out to First Baptist, Jason Bay, and appreciate you as always being here. We got a pretty good show lined up today. We are hoping we have a friend coming in today that leads a men's ministry. I don't want to dig into that too much just in case he doesn't show up, but we are hoping they are on the docket today to be here. If not, we still got enough to keep us covered for the whole show. But, Jason, we'll talk about a lot of things today. How have you been?
Well, Rob, I got to tell you, I had one of those nightmares that comes true. You ever have those nightmares that comes true in the middle of the night?
Yeah, like the dog, like throwing up on the floor.
Exactly. But this was worse because this was one of those things where you know, I get into bed at night and always worried that something's going to get you in the night, you know, not like a monster or anything, but just so I'm laying there in the bed. I'm sound asleep. And I feel something. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:12.
This morning?
This morning.
Oh, no.
So I'm laying there, and I feel something on my head. Oh. I reach down there, and a scorpion stung me right on the finger. Thank goodness it didn't sting me on the head. I jumped out of bed, flung my hand, and the thing got off. But, I mean, you're in a dead sleep, and a scorpion crawls on you. That is like one of those things where you just, you know, that's just so after that, of course, I didn't sleep at all because Kim gets up and says, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "There's a scorpion on me," and it stung me on my finger. And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And so we got the flashlight out trying to find it because then you can't, you know, you're looking for this thing because you're afraid it's going to attack you again. We searched all over the floor and bed and the sheets and everything. Couldn't find it because I slung my hand and I don't know where it went. But that was even worse, not finding it, because then you're just laying in bed thinking, okay, any minute. And so I doze off to sleep, and then I wake right back up thinking, you know, oh, no, he's about to get me again. But, yeah, it was a rough night, to say the least.
I just Googled, a scorpion does not die after it stings. It comes back for more.
It can sting you many times, yes.
Is there like a little scab or a scar?
No, it didn't leave anything on my finger. I looked at it this morning. As soon as it did, I squeezed it like that to try to get the venom out. But it doesn't feel good. But I can imagine it. I don't feel it anymore, but I can imagine it would feel a lot worse on your head.
Oh, yeah. My dad, we were staying at my uncle's one time and at his brother's, and I remember a scorpion. It was weird. My uncle's house, they had a nice little house, but there was always scorpions in there. Mm-hmm. It was one of those weird deals. It's like, why is there, you know, like some people will always have a certain thing in their house that's unexplainable. You can keep your house clean and you spray and you do all that stuff. Now, the deal was they live out in Bandera County outside of San Antonio, my uncle and aunt, and this was my uncle that my aunt, the one who passed away a few months ago. And so he's living out there and still out there. But I remember going. There was always scorpions at his house. Where, you got some sort of scorpion farm going on under the house, man?
I'm telling you, that's my house where we live. We have just a rustic kind of house with cedar trim around the bottom and the top of the house, and on the inside, you know. And those scorpions will get right on that cedar and sit there. And I don't know the best way of getting rid of those, but I sure would like to. And you know, another thing is those, like our sinks, you know, in our bathrooms, they're a natural trap for scorpions. If they run across the counter, they'll fall down in there, and they can't get out because it's too slick when they're trying to crawl up. So you can see them. I mean, every now and then there'll be one in the sink, but oh, I hate those things. It's not. It's that their sting really isn't as bad as like a wasp sting, you know. So it's not the pain is not that bad. It's just the way they look, they're creepy looking, you know. And they're so sneaky, you know. But they come from the line of like a spider. They're arachnids, you know. So I think the same thing that will kill spiders will kill them. But I'm not sure. Maybe somebody will chime in and let me know how to get rid of the scorpions in my house. But I definitely need to do that because I don't want to wake up like that anymore.
There's that spray stuff called Demon. Have you heard of that before?
Demon WP, like you put in a bottle. I've tried that before, and maybe that's what I need to redo. But I think like you spray it and then you let it dry and it leaves like a powdery residue along wherever you use it. Maybe I need to do that. I don't know, but maybe somebody can chime in and let me know what the best way to get rid of my scorpion problem. But obviously, when it hits that close to home, it's time to do something.
Breaking news. You know, I'm kind of a tech guy, not really, but here's the breaking. I was able to hack into your Ring camera at your house this morning, and I did manage to find The lighting was a little bit different. Did manage to find a
yeah, right.
photo
That's definitely me.
There he is. There's Jason last night. I mean, this guy was.
Oh my gosh, that's about exactly where he got me. I mean, where he
Good.
landed, and I'm just, I'm completely asleep, and I just feel something kind of on me, and I just reach my hand up there, and oh my gosh, like I said, it's like a nightmare. I have this reoccurring dream of like laying in the bed and there's snakes or something on you, and you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, there's something in the bed. And so now, think how that's just going to reinforce these dreams.
Just because I like to, keep the wagon in the mud for a little while. Here's another video clip.
Yeah, definitely.
Straight out there, just sleeping peacefully. Don't you love AI? You can even generate scorpions on your face.
That's horrible, but
that's
what it was. That's exactly what it was. I'm thankful the thing didn't sting me in the eye or somewhere.
You know what's kind of scary? That kind of looks like me. It's kind of scary, like the skinny version of me. Except this poor guy looks like he ate some bad apples, and then the scorpion also got on him. So
see, that's what I'm saying. He's probably having that dream.
What is the worst? What is the worst sting or bite or anything like that that's ever? It could be an animal. It could be a insect. What's the worst that's ever happened?
I want to tell you what happened. This was a few years ago, and this is no lie. My mother had this breaker box on the outside of her house, and she was having some problems with her power inside. And I had to I was opening up the breaker box to turn off a breaker so that I could go in there and do the electrical work that her house needed. And I opened up the breaker box, and I mean immediately a wasp comes flying out and stings me right on the inside of my nose. And you talk about pain. I mean, my whole face, my eyes started watering. It literally it was so painful. And it was like the most sensitive spot you could imagine. It was so painful. But that's the worst pain that I've ever experienced when being stung by something.
I was running 103 fever. Just was so fortunate to have the flu one time. I was on my way to the doctor. Or on my way out of the house, and those red wasps are so angry. Like, chill out, man. Why are y'all so upset? Chill out. You got anywhere in the world you can go stick your nest.
Yep.
And you decide to put it right, and they always did it. And someone told me it was because they leave behind a hormone. I don't know what that, I don't know if that's true or not, but somebody said they leave behind some. Because you always wonder, why do they always go back to the same spot? And you know that they've died, so it's new ones.
Yeah, you can spray the nest with the poison, and they'll go back right to it.
And it's not the same ones. It's a whole different. So someone told me they leave behind. It's like a cat marking its territory.
Yeah, no kidding. I believe it.
So I would always knock them down out of this one corner, and they decided right up in the corner of the door jamb as you walk out of the front door. And I'd leave in the morning and nothing there. I'd come back at night in the evening, and there'd be a big nest there, just that quick. Well, this particular day, I'd gotten up. I wasn't feeling good. I had to go to the doctor. Man, I go out. As soon as I go out, Jason, like 3 of them things, because I know I felt it. Bam, bam, bam. It's like going kamikaze on my neck.
I know it, man.
Popped me right here in the neck. I was already running 103 fever.
Goodness.
My grandmother and my mom had always told me put toothpaste on it.
I heard of like baking soda. My mother used to make this little paste with baking soda and water and put it on there. I don't know if it helped or not.
I didn't have, so I put toothpaste on it.
Yeah, that's probably the same idea.
And it was kind of it's because we're trying to conserve things too. It's a 2 whammy. One, it provides a little comfort, and then 2, at the end of the night, you take your toothbrush, you wet it, and then you can brush your teeth. Yeah. But I did that, and I just remember feeling so horrible. There was 2 other distinct things that I can remember about things biting and hurting. One of them, it involved red wasp again. I was doing IT work for this guy, and I remember thinking, how dumb are these wasps? They put a nest, instead of up in a corner, they put it on the wall, just sticking out of the wall in his little entryway to his house. So, as you walk to the front door, you'd think it'd be up there somewhere, right? No, this dumb thing decided it was going to stick itself right on the wall. And I remember seeing it, and I was like, well, I'm just going to be careful. I start to walk into his – man, they popped me like crazy on my ear, in my ears.
Yeah.
And I think this guy was more concerned about me suing him than he was about my health. He's like, well, you're going to be fine. I was like, I know I'm going to be fine. He's like, well, this ain't my fault. He was like, immediately, as soon as I went in, he was telling me, this ain't my fault.
Can I get you to sign this paper right here, sir?
Yeah. And I was like, I wasn't going to do anything to the guy. It's just a thing that I was like, I know it's not your fault. Chill out, man. I remember his name, Howard Carlsberg. Howard, he'd call all the time. And I ended up, loving this guy. He's one of these guys, and it was funny. The other night I was Googling him. I was like, whatever happened to Howard? Because he used to call all the time. And he had my cell. You give out your cell phone, and then all of a sudden, you get 5,000 calls from the same people. And this guy had called me. Rob, this is Howard Carlsberg here. My computer's not working. Call me like 2 a.m. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to sleep, man. And you know what? This is, I guess you could, here's some inspiration, have a little faith in people. Mm-hmm. Howard was a really peculiar guy. It would be very easy to not like this guy, but you have to learn to understand why some people tick the way that they tick. And there's another good example of this. There's a lady in town that if she and I would have ever talked politics, we would have never gotten along. Mm-hmm. She would have, I would have, but I knew she wouldn't have. Mm-hmm. So we avoided it. And we got along great. Mm-hmm. Now, there was one time that she came. It was so funny. She came into my store, and she goes, Rob, I saw you posted something on Facebook that my jaw just dropped. And I said, what is that? And she goes, well, you shared so-and-so's post about it. And it was somebody in town that had ran for an office. Well, if I would have known that was your political beliefs, I don't know if we would have ever been friends. And I said, shame. I just kind of laughed, and I went up and I gave her a hug, and I said, that's why we never talk about these things, Mary. And she was laughing, and it all worked out. But I go back to Howard, and there was just something distinct about him, and this is why I say, give some people the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
He told me, he goes, I'm not going to be able to pay you all at once when you come. But if you're willing to work with me, I'll work out a payment plan. And he had a running balance with us for like 10 years. And he would pay us. He'd call us a lot. And I told him, I was like, we got to charge for this. And so he got on like a retainer and literally paid us like $100 a month for 10 years.
That's cool.
Because we were always going over there.
Yeah.
And so I trusted him and I understood his situation and all that. And I mean, the guy lived in a nice house, and it wasn't, but you can't judge somebody by that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember over the years, he moved 3 times, and every time he downsized. And I mean, he went from this huge like mansion house out in Sun City, like it's a retirement community in Georgetown, to like a small little house that was on maybe a 1/6 of an acre, a 1/10 of an acre. And he told me, he goes, yeah, I'm just downsizing little by little. But he was always on that payment plan with us. I'll never forget. And when he'd call me, I'd say, Howard, you haven't paid your bill this month. And he's like, okay, here's my card. And then and it was kind of a good relationship that we had.
Yeah, that's neat. I was thinking about, it's funny how time gets away from you, but God brings back to memory people in your in your life where you say what you said earlier, whatever happened to this person. There's times that, and I know everybody does this, but you think God puts somebody on your mind, and you think, well, I wonder whatever happened to that individual. You maybe just have a chance encounter with them or get to know them a little bit, and it's neat to look back and see how God puts connections in our path.
It is. Well, hey, Zach Walker is joining us from Care Center Huntsville at the men's. He texted us on the on the show. He said he's here, so I don't think he knew to go around the side. So we're going to take a break. Yes. I don't want Zach to run off. He's probably waiting to get in. So we'll take a brief break. Hey, we are giving away, Jason, you ought to go to this.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it.
Have you ever been?
I haven't, but I've been invited a couple of times. There's always been something that...
You should be a judge of this. You'd be good at that.
I don't know if I could handle that much chili. I have a acid reflux problem.
Yeah. I don't think you're allowed to have Tums because it messes up the taste of it, Chili at the Lodge. Our friend Carla Christian was on the show this past Friday. We have one more chili tasting kit. I said wine tasting kit the other day because anytime you hear that, you always think of wine. Well, this is a chili tasting kit, 4-pack chili tasting kit. We have one more of these to give away. That's happening this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. A world-class chili cook-off. I mean, we're talking this bad boy's certified. This ain't your grandma's chili cook-off. This is the real deal.
They put a lot into that, and it's a good cause, too.
This is the first year in 4 years of them doing it, too, that the weather is expected to be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's a definitely difficult proposition when you plan anything in January.
So, Chili at the Lodge, we're giving away that, and all you have to do.
Or February.
Yeah, all you have to do is text in the keyword, and that keyword is
Chili.
Chili. CHILI. Text that in. I promise. Boy, that right there makes my gut hurt. Like it's giving me reflux just looking at that. Text in the keyword chili, CHILI, along with your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. That number 936-339-0139. Again, 936-339-0139. It's your chance to win this chili tasting kit for this weekend's events. As always, our Thankful Thursday is brought to you by First Baptist, a harbor of hope here in Huntsville. Hey, we'd love for you to join us. Bible studies at 9:30. We have worship service at 10:45, and Jason and I will talk about this in a little bit, but we're working on some pretty exciting things.
Yeah, thank goodness that God placed you here. Rob, you're doing some amazing things, and our outreach is growing exponentially, and I'm so excited about what God is doing.
We are. We're so thankful, and come by and see us. For more information, go online, FBCHuntsville.org. We'll take a brief break. Zach Walker joins us, if he hasn't left, on the other side when we come back. This is your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville. Stay with us. We'll be back here in just a few moments.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at GuardianDefenseLLC.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. Imagine a professional office space that elevates your business image without the corporate price tag. Huntsville Executive Office Suites are coming soon to Lake Road. Enjoy high-speed internet, a fully equipped kitchen, and 24/7 secure access. Take advantage of our live answering service, advertising on our outdoor video sign, and a convenient location just a quarter mile from SHSU. Lease terms start at 6 months. Call Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378. Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Grow your business without outgrowing your budget. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at GuardianDefenseLLC.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Welcome to Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville, where we've been caring for your furry family members for over 4 decades. Nestled at 877 IH 45 South, our kennel is a perfect retreat for your pet. With a climate-controlled facility, spacious exercise yards, we ensure a comfortable and enjoyable stay. At Magnolia Kennel, we offer a range of options including overnight boarding, extended stay boarding, and doggy day out. But that's not all. We also provide additional pampering services like baths and nail care to keep your pets looking and feeling their best. Making a reservation is a breeze at magnoliakennel.com. We take great pride in our dedication to the community, supporting our local fire departments by providing oxygen pet masks. Stay connected and enjoy adorable pet updates by following us on Facebook. Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville is where dogs get to be dogs. Visit us at magnoliakennel.com to book your pet's next stay. We can't wait to meet your 4-legged family members.
This is KHSP-LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
This is Jason Bay, the pastor at First Baptist Church, Huntsville, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit of Huntsville. Spirit 94.3.
Welcome back out at Huntsville as we go. How about 70 degrees this morning, Jason? Yikes.
I know that's not really chilly weather, but I guess we'll make it work.
Yeah, I walked outside this morning, grabbed a sword to cut through all the humidity as I walked out the front door today.
Rain is coming down. Is it supposed to rain all day?
90% chance of rain. Temperature is going to stay right around 70 tonight, 47 decreasing clouds. Friday, though, sunny and 66, and then we're set up for a beautiful high near 70 degrees on Saturday for chilly at the lodge. So today, though, maybe a quarter to a half inch of rain as we continue on here today. And you know what? Thank the good Lord for the rain, though. We always need it, and we're thankful to have it. We do want to welcome you back in. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Thankful Thursday, brought to you as always by First Baptist. We have some good friends joining us this morning. A new friend that I just met. We'll introduce some here in just a few moments, but a friend that we've known for a while now, too. And we'll go ahead and bring them on, Jason. How about Zach Walker and Dan Moon joining us from Care Center Huntsville? Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, too.
Good morning.
Dan, it's I just met you today. Yeah. So we you and I don't think we've ever crossed paths, have we?
No. I've been here in Huntsville 40 years and have never met you.
I've known Dan for a long time ago. Dan used to be when you were a child, right? You used to go to this church?
No, that wasn't me. That was probably another Moon.
Oh, okay.
That was Dan Mars. That's
yeah.
So, well, I want to dig in here in just a few moments. You guys have done such incredible work. And, Zach, I'll start with you. The Care Center Huntsville, we're proud to partner with Care Center Huntsville here at First.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Just love the mission and what you guys do. And I was just bragging on y'all. In fact, a couple of days ago, I was telling somebody that there are so many centers that help people, that help women with children and giving them the resources, faith-based, but there's never that resource for men because although we're not carrying the baby, we're still part of the process. It's cool to have you on staff because you're leading the men's ministry. So before we deep dive into that, let us know just a little bit about you and kind of your background real quick, Zach.
Yeah, so I'm from Winona, Texas, if you know where that is.
Yeah, hey, can you move that just a little bit closer? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, gotcha.
Yes, I'm from Winona, Texas, if you know where that is. Graduated with 54 students. I grew up in the church. My mom dragged me every single week, Sunday school teacher, choir director, Sunday school superintendent, AV guy. Hey, if you know it, I did it.
App developer.
Yeah. You know, if the technology was out at the time, the pastor would have asked me to try to do it.
There you go. That's right.
And so I grew up in the church and went to junior college, went to college, walked away from the faith a little bit. And then I got involved in campus ministry, and that's where I really started my ministerial career. And I've been doing it for the last 5 years. And I've been with Care Center Huntsville since almost a year, so March.
Man, that's great. You know, one thing I love about you, Zach, is just the joy that you always have, man. If you're not seeing Zach smiling, you better go up and give him a hug and ask him what's going on.
Yeah, right.
Because this guy will bring a ton of joy
Absolutely.
anywhere he goes. Dan, let us know just a little bit about your journey. I know you said earlier you've been in this community for quite some time, but let us know a little bit about your story, sir.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan originally, and I think here in Texas now we could say is winter over. You know, we don't know for sure.
It's a 24-hour season.
It'll go back and forth, but didn't get saved till 18 or 19 years old, and so I can say that jail spoke to me. Some of the harder things in life spoke to me because of my lack of guidance. Life was a giant experiment, and you learned by suffering and consequences, which is, again, and even the care center, you know, my girlfriend, I got my girlfriend pregnant in 10th grade. So, again, what is it in our society that we don't seem to know that we've done all the ingredients to make something, and then we come to that point and we say, I don't know if I want that. You know, it's I'm glad to be a part of the center here and speaking into men's lives, women's lives, and just being there for direction.
And you served on the board there for some time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even tell you how long.
Well, it's great. It's a wonderful organization. You know, Jason and I talk about Care Center Huntsville frequently, and we've had you guys over here several times. I know that y'all just had a celebration. I think it was y'all's employee appreciation or anniversary, something that was happening over here at the. What was that, Jason?
Well, they did the Christmas for their clients.
Yeah,
they brought them over here and just celebrated the Savior and the progress that you guys see, and what we're talking about eventually is not just individuals. What we're talking about is families. And one of the things that they've really tried to do, and I appreciate everything that y'all do, because the people that come through your doors, you have a special, unique ability and God-given gift to be able to reach people that a lot of churches in the community never will have. Yeah, but one of the things that they try to do in that situation is not just care for the individual, but care for the family and understand the importance of connecting those families back with local churches.
Zach, tell us a little bit about just the men's ministry. It intrigues me because, as I was leading into earlier, you go to a lot of these places where they're helping women. One, that you guys have a tremendous advantage is being faith-based, yes. Obviously pro-life. You guys try to steer women in that direction. But then secondly, you don't leave the men out of the equation. So dig in a little bit to how that kind of works in your role.
Yes, so I'm the men's director, and so what that means is when the ladies come, they usually are dragging somebody along, and I'm here to pick up whoever was dragged along. And so I get to meet with the guys, and we try to give them parallel paths of the ladies fill out paperwork, so now the guys fill out paperwork, and the ladies get met with, and so I meet with the guys, and we just talk about, okay, why are you here? How can we best serve you? How are you feeling about this potential pregnancy, and how can we walk alongside you in this journey? And so I just have conversations with guys, and yes.
One of the things that they did, I've just been in this community and serving here a few years ago, you guys changed your name because it was the Pregnancy Care Center of Huntsville. And now they're known as the Care Center of Huntsville, specifically because you wanted to make sure that not only the women but also the men knew that this isn't just about one side of the equation, that there's a lot of people that are affected by this, and I appreciate the intentional effort of saying, hey, we know there's another side of this, and it's hard on both sides, and they both need discipleship. So that's amazing.
Zach, dig in a little bit. One thing that I'm intrigued by, you know, as I mentioned, you're helping the ladies, you're helping families. But there's a Bible study aspect to this that's really cool, that you're sitting down with men and kind of talk about some of the programs that you do, not only on the women's side, but with the men as well.
Yes, and so I'm still trying to roll out the men's aspect. So we're trying to get a men's Bible study going. We're still in the prototype phases of that. And then we're also doing fatherhood program. So I have curriculum for men. So whenever they come to parenting class or they come to any of our services, I'm trying to tell them, you don't have to just listen to this. I have stuff specifically for you about diapering, about swaddling, about putting in a car seat, things that, guys don't even think about, but they're about to start doing real soon.
Dan, you've been involved for quite some time. Let us know a little bit, just about the services and what the Care Center encompasses and how they're helping out the community.
Well, I say the primary way is in a place of insecurity, a place of upheaval for many. Ours is a door that's open, and they're comfortable to come here. And again, what are we doing? We're offering the counsel of the Lord in love. We're not going to disregard truth, but we're going to offer that counsel of the Lord in truth. We're going to encourage them to, hey, this process of reproduction has begun, and a child is in the womb. So we're going to encourage them, hey, let's have faith to walk down this road. And I think for this is the really primary place for men to come in and say, hey, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to step up into this position, which is again scary. But again, I think when there's other people walking with you, there's a confidence that we lend to them. Same with the women. Hey, we're going to help you materially in any way we can to encourage you to keep your child. You can do this. This has been done since the beginning of time. This is nothing new. It's just a matter of you seeing yourself in this role.
Now, I one of the things that I appreciate about what you guys do, I think there's a misconception in the community and communities like ours that, hey, there's a lot of funding out there for organizations such as y'all's. Tell us how you're funded.
Strictly by people giving generously. We have a banquet every year. We'll have a Mackenzie's barbecue. Will open up for us to have a barbecue fund. So it's all just donations.
And the reason why that is so important is because when you take federal funding, there's certain restrictions that come along with that funding, and there's certain requirements that they impose upon you. And you guys have made the conscious decision to say, no, we want to set our own mission and reach out to people without the restraints of the government. And so I think it's so important that, and it's non denominational. There's no church, it's not affiliated with the Baptist Church and the Methodist Church or even the Catholic Church, but they all come together to help. And I think it's so important in my eyes and the eyes of a lot of other people is that it remains that way, and the only way it can remain that way is through the support of people that donate to the Care Center. That's why we are so passionate about it, because I know your guys are in walking distance of the university, and I'm just picturing the young lady and young man that have just discovered, what has happened, or maybe just on the initial not even knowing, and they come in and you guys are providing them free pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, which the statistics say that if a woman is allowed to see the baby inside through the use of ultrasound, the likelihood then of them keeping that child goes way up. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Yeah, and so those things are so important, and they're offering these services for free of charge to people that come in, and these are medical services that cost a lot of money.
Zach, I mentioned so much on this show about you have to be passionate about what you do to find success. You guys have been very successful because you're passionate, and it's an organization that you got to be passionate to work in.
Sure.
How did the journey for you connect? Because you're one guy working with a lot of women. So how did the journey connect to you over there at Care Center Huntsville?
Yes. So I was on the other side. Was the thing is I was a client with my wife.
Okay.
we were going to parenting classes. And so whenever I'm looking at these clients, I'm seeing myself on the other side.
That is so great.
And so we were just going to parenting classes. My wife knew about the care center and was like, we got to go to parenting class. And I was like, I don't need to go to a parenting class. Look, I had good parents. I'll be okay. And she was like, we got to go. So we started going, and we went for months and months and months. And I was like, I'm one of the only 4 guys here, and there's nothing for me here. And then, I was connected with one of the previous board members, and they were like, I think they're looking for a men's director. And so I was looking for something at that time as well. And so I went in, and I went through the application process, and they were like, well, this is what the role is. What do you want it to look like? And so I was like, I know exactly, not exactly, but I had a couple ideas of what I wanted it to look like. And through the grace of God, we've gotten to see a lot of those things be implemented. Fatherhood classes, paperwork, just all the things of just like, you are here and you are important.
Yeah, I love that, Jason, that here's an organization, and it's folks who have walked down this path. Don, you mentioned a while ago, Dan, about your path when you were younger. You just mentioned your path, Zach. Jackie Barham has been on this show. Yes. She's talked about her path. There's 3 people that are directly involved with Care Center Huntsville who have been on that other side. Mm-hmm. And when you walk that path, there's nobody greater to lead it than somebody that's been there before and went through that. There's a compassion level to this, too, that is so tremendous. When we went to the banquet, I was fortunate to go. By the way, I love the way y'all do the banquet. You offer the tables, you don't charge anybody, but people have a heart to give, and it's a tremendous banquet. And I just loved being there. Members of our church went, and some other community folks that we invited. Just let us know a little bit about kind of how that works. I know you highlighted earlier about the giving and those kind of things, but just let us know about the compassion that you have to have for folks when they come in. You've got to see. You can't just look at somebody and say, here's the situation. You look at it from their heart. Maybe expand on that a little bit more too.
Yes, sir. And so every single time we see a client, we don't just look at them as someone who's just coming in. They're an image bearer of Christ. And as we look at them, we can see that Christ has made them, formed them in their mother's womb, and has a plan and a purpose for their lives. And with that in mind, we get to come alongside them and help them any way we can to help them stay along the path that God has for them. So many times in our lives, we can fall along the wayward path, but it takes something for us to get back on the right path. And so sometimes we're just trying to put a pebble in their shoe of just like, God has a plan and a purpose for your life. You didn't come in this building by accident, but God is trying to do something in your life. Will you come alongside him?
And I want to encourage, maybe there's somebody out there this morning watching saying, I really need these services. Maybe there's somebody that's not a believer. The Care Center Huntsville is not going to look at you and say, well, you're not a believer, you're not welcome here. That's not the way it works.
Not at all.
You guys are showing the love of Christ the way that I believe it should be shown. Jason, that's so important, too, to welcome people in with open arms and say, here we are, how can we serve you?
Well, there's plenty of examples in the Bible where Jesus met the people at their moment of desperation, and that's where you meet a lot of people. And I can look at you, and you've got a gift. There's no doubt that you have a gift for this. You're passionate, but you're full of joy, and you know the Word, and you know the hope that the Word gives you in your lowest moments. I'm thankful that God placed you there, and I hope that there's a lot of other people that are watching that, because the reality is, we may not have walked there, but we all know somebody that's either walking there now or has walked there. Yes. And so somebody out there may be watching this, that they know somebody that's going through something like this. And that the Care Center is a loving place where when you walk in those doors, there's no judgment. You just come in as you are, and you're going to be surrounded by a group of people that want the best for you, that are rooting for you. And I think that's the key to it is, a lot of times people assume that when you go to a church or you go to that they're going to open the door and be met with a bunch of people pointing their fingers at them. But no, it's not. It's quite the opposite. It's open arms that you open the door to, and it's people like you that's why I think it's so important that you become on the show and get out there in the community like you're doing, because people need to see your heart. And when you open your mouth, they see your heart.
Yeah. Daniel Bays is the one that originally connected me to you guys. We hold an annual fundraiser called Rays of Hope. This will be our 3rd year coming up when we do it at the beginning of summer. And we were looking for nonprofit organizations that maybe don't have a lot of notoriety in the community, that people that they aren't aware. And that's how we ultimately got connected to you guys. Dan, highlight just, you serving on the board, maybe some things that you've learned over the years and just being involved with the organization, if you don't mind, because there may be someone in the community saying, I'd love to get involved. Maybe I want to serve on the board one day.
Sure. Yeah, I think, we have a pretty good cross-section of board members, not from any one church. So these are the people who help guide the board and make decisions. But hey, in the community itself, we have seen great support. The people stepping up to help. Even with our building, we were able to pay our building off early, not have a mortgage anymore. It's an older building, but it has a lot of character to it. We'll probably always be doing more maintenance on it, but it's just a blessing. I mean, again, when people come together that are like-minded, and again, I love the words when Jesus says, "Where are those who accuse you?" And Jesus said, "I don't condemn you. Where are your condemners?" We're not condemners. Hey, everybody in life goes through stuff. We all make poor decisions sometimes, and I think that's part of the center's role is, hey, we want to help you make a good decision that you're going to live with the rest of your life. And again, we know the devil always comes to condemn us and to beat us up with our mistakes. So, hey, we're a group that says, hey, we've all made mistakes. Welcome to the club. You're qualified. Yeah. But now let's move forward. Let's not keep repeating the same thing. So I think part of our goal is discipleship, to point them, to plug them into church as people who come to the Lord.
Speaking of your building, I grew up here in Huntsville. And most people that have been around Huntsville a long time know that building was the old Huntsville Funeral Home. My grandfather's funeral was a visitation. I remember as a young boy, we were standing up there outside of that building whenever they had my grandfather's funeral, and always symbolized in my mind, driving past that place, a symbol of death, really.
Yeah.
And now I just think it's a beautiful thing that now it's a symbol of life in the community, and what a beautiful resurrection of that building and use for it, especially where it's located. It's so accessible to the university, and so many kids from the university are probably your clients. So that's really neat to see how that transformation is taking place.
When you mentioned that, when I first went over there, I thought that because someone had told me, and I thought of that same exact thing in my mind. It's so funny you brought that up, because I said, here's a place that used to be a place of death and mourning, and now it's a place of life and joy. And I love the work that y'all are doing. Zach, I know so much going on. Anything else? I want to make sure that you highlighted what you wanted to talk about. Is there anything else maybe on the tip of your tongue or at the front of your brain you want to get out this morning?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go, man.
Yes. So this coming month we have Fatherhood February. So we're just highlighting our men's services and our fatherhood course. Every Tuesday at noon and Wednesday at 10:30, I'm hosting fatherhood classes, and I'm inviting anyone in the community that wants to be a better dad to come to these classes and go through this curriculum with us. We'll be talking about diapering, we'll be talking about swaddling, we'll be talking about car seats, and we, of course, if they give me a chance to speak, I'm going to talk about Jesus. So we have just these opportunities because we want every dad to be equipped with everything they need to do to be the man of God that they're supposed to be. And not just be the man of God that they're supposed to be, but also be the dad that God is calling them to be.
Would you say that this program is for new dads or dads of children of all ages? What would you kind of recommend for that?
I would say for new dads specifically.
Okay.
If you have a kid that's under 2, this is probably for you.
I like kind of rhyme. You got a kid under 2, then it's for you. I can see that on a T-shirt. Yes. There we go. When is that again? I just wanted to make sure that we do that folks out there hear that. When are these classes again?
Yes, they'll be Tuesdays at noon and Wednesdays at 10:30.
They're at the Care Center,
They're
correct?
at the Care Center, yes, sir.
And your website is what?
Yes, our website is carecenterhuntsville.org.
Okay, and can people, if people wanted to, is the information about the classes on the website?
Yes, and it's also on our Facebook as well.
Okay, and can they donate on the website if they'd like to donate to the Care Center?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I encourage people that It takes everybody in the community giving a little bit. And when we all get a little bit, it allows services like this to grow and encourage people to help them continue to remain independently funded by churches and individuals in the community that care about the importance of life. I think I told you this last time, but my wife and I, we have 10 children. So my wife always has loved children and babies, and our youngest is 5. She'll be starting kindergarten in the fall. And my wife has always wanted to come up there and volunteer in some area whenever all the kids get out of the house. So maybe you'll be seeing her before too long up there to help you guys out any way that she can.
Yes, sir.
I was just thinking, we're working on building a radio program here once we get our FM signal on 94.3 here in Huntsville. It's a Christian radio station called Spirit Radio. We do it through the app right now, but I would love for you guys. I just thought of this, and I'm gonna throw this out there, and you can pick it up if you want to. But I think it would be so great to have Care Center come in and do a weekly segment.
Oh, that would be great.
And just talk about life and those kind of things. And I think you'd be the guy to do that, Zach.
That's
and Dan,
right.
you can come hang out too. I think it'd be great to have you guys come on and have some sort of a weekly program that talks
would be
about
cool.
that. So
Yeah.
I just felt that in my heart. I wanted to get it out there, man. So
Yes, sir.
you pick that up if you want to. All right,
Yes,
Zach.
sir.
Well, Dan, any final comments? So great to have you all today. I appreciate you coming along as well, my friend.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Hey, the scripture says that evil will slay the wicked. God is a just God, a loving God and a just God. We can't ever separate his character. He's a whole, and that's why we call him holy. Even he's a whole person. So I think as we become whole, and I think that's an adventure for all of us in life. We're receiving healing as we walk through life, if we're connected to life-giving people and organizations such as the church, the Care Center, different things like that. So we want to see people get healed. We want to see people become whole.
That's right.
And that takes iron sharpening iron at times. Someone to tell us a hard truth. And to be able to receive that, that's based on relationships building, and that's what young men need. Young men need other men to speak into their lives, especially those who haven't had a good father image at all.
I concur. That is so vitally important, and I think you guys have hit the nail on the head. It's not just about coming alongside women; it's about coming alongside these young fathers and saying, "Hey, it's time for men, fathers, to step up and to be the man that God called them to be."
Amen.
And I appreciate y'all doing that very much.
Once again, it's our friends at Care Center Huntsville. They're doing tremendous work. Consider supporting them. If you can't do it financially, do it through your time. You can find out more information online, carecenterhuntsville.com. The .org works as well. They'll both kind of redirect there. So, but check them out online. Great services and a wonderful asset to our community that is really, really doing great work. Zach, Dan, we appreciate y'all so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
And pick up that idea, that I
Yes,
threw
sir.
out there, all right, man? So, all right, we're going to step aside. Hey, y'all going to Chili this weekend? Y'all going to the Chili at the Lodge? That's right.
Good.
Y'all can walk over there,
Literally. What time is
So
it?
it's going to happen I don't know the times, but it's Saturday and Sunday.
11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Yeah, there you go, each day. So go over there and get you. Are you a chili guy, Dan?
I like chili, yeah.
All right. Well, this is I forget it's like an I thought they said IBS sanctioned. it's something sanctioned. It's a very
prestigious.
Yeah, very prestigious, but it's not that. But it is a world sanctioned chili cook-off.
Okay.
There's a guy that's like the number 2 chili guy in the world that's the judge of this thing too, part of it. So get out there if y'all can. And I mentioned that because we are giving away a 4-pack today, a tasting kit for that.
Live entertainment too.
Yeah, it'll be Jason Bay on stage, Jason Bay Comedy Hour. So yeah, all you got to do to text in to win this morning, text in that keyword. It is chili. Send that in on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. Chili, text that in along with your name. Again, 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. Your chance to win, 936-339-0139. Our show always brought to you on Thursday by First Baptist, a harbor of hope here in Huntsville. More information online at fbchuntsville.org. We'll take a quick break. We've got a lot to talk about when we come back. Stay with us. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit 94.3.
Friends, back at it as we continue on this morning. Thanks for hanging out with us here on another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Sorry about the extended break there. We were, you know what? I just lied to everybody. I just said we were readjusting cameras. That's all right. Look, we're off to the side.
Yeah, we're off to the side. Man, mine.
Hey, let me just readjust this here. There's something that I really wanted to bring up this morning. Let me adjust that camera real quick, if you don't mind here.
Go ahead.
Jason, what's your favorite food?
I like steak.
You got a joke for us? I put you on the spot.
No, but I can go ahead and talk about what we were going to talk about. When we talk about news this morning, I think everybody is, if you didn't go to bed with this on your mind, you definitely woke up to it. But there was a plane carrying 64 people collided with a Black Hawk helicopter near D.C. Last night. And on the Wall Street Journal this morning, it says that there are no survivors expected. So what a tragic loss there. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the news last night, Rob, and see what was going on there, but they did have they said the conditions were treacherous to try to find anybody alive because they had been experiencing such cold weather there, and the Potomac River where the crash took place over had been frozen all week and just began to thaw out. They said the water there was like 36 degrees. But apparently this jet, which was flight 5342, had 60 passengers on board and 4 crew members on board. And there were 3 people on the military helicopter, which was a Black Hawk helicopter that was doing some training missions there. They're not, obviously there's going to be a full investigation in this, but it's most likely the helicopter's fault for being in the flight path of the jet, that the jet was on a normal descent and on its flight path. And I was listening to some of the news reports last night, and they did have some communication with or attempted to communicate with the helicopter prior to the collision that they needed to divert their course, and on the broadcast they didn't have a response from the helicopter broadcast, and they said that was typical because the military uses a different channel, so they're not sure that they ever got the message, or if they did get the message, if whether or not they responded is still in question. That wasn't known. But among the jet's passengers were U.S. figure skaters, coaches, and relatives returning from a training camp. Crews have been working, and like I said, in these extremely frigid conditions to recover the bodies. The water there was expected to be about 36 degrees, and like I said, it had just been beginning to thaw out. I have here the inquiry. It says, PAT-25, do you have the CRJ in sight? PAT-25 is the helicopter, and CRJ is the jet. And PAT, it's the next instructions given from the flight the path to the helicopter was PAT-25, pass behind the CRJ, the controller said, as the American Airlines flight 5342 descended over the Potomac River just moments before landing. And then, of course, we all know exactly what happened. But this is obviously a sad situation there, and I don't know if you had a chance to check out any of the news reports last night or this morning. And
yeah, no, it's just I woke up with a pretty somber heart thinking about this, and I've never been involved in any type of airline or airplane accident. The closest that I've ever gotten to anything like that is I became pretty good friends with Jerry Schimmel, who was on a United 88 that crashed outside of Illinois there in the late 80s, and 120 people or so passed away. He survived that. We actually had him on this show a couple of years, right when I started this show, a few months into it, we had him on. And he, through that experience, it dramatically obviously changed his life. And I immediately thought of Jerry when I saw this last night. I was watching Hannity on Fox News, and the new press secretary that Trump has, with the new presidential cabinet. She kind of broke into that on Hannity last night and started talking about it. And, your first thought, Jason, is, Lord, let there be survivors. Please let somebody come out of this alive. Because you see the video, and there's news stations all over that area. You know, you're just down the river from Washington. You're in D.C. You're just right down the river from the White House. Literally, the White House is just north, and there's cameras all over trained on this. Well, there was some Uber dash cams, I believe. I saw one video from an Uber driver that had a dash cam that actually captured it as well, and that plane was about 400 feet from elevation, 2,000 feet from the runway, but right over the river. And then you just see that helicopter. And it's hard at night. I know a guy who is an air traffic controller, and he said the job is extremely stressful, especially at night because it's so hard to see things. And you don't ever want to, rush to judgment. There's people out there saying, well, it looks like it headed right towards it. Well, there's flight paths that cross all the time in aviation. There's nothing intentional that I would suspect at all with this. No. Because there was no veering or anything. It was just this helicopter was on its way. And I started thinking about this, Jason, and it's I know you and I have a lot of fun on this show, but I'm glad we're talking about this because, we live in a world, especially for someone that's not a Christian. Christians, when we grow in our faith, we understand that things happen because sin entered the world along. You explained this to me, and it made, because I was asking, why did my dad pass away? Why did I lose my grandmother? Why did this happen? When sin entered this world, it threw everything off.
Right.
And this morning, I was trying to find some scripture that would help kind of relate to this. And I'm not a believer that hey, God. Some people will go to the thing and say, well, God, this happened because of this. These things happen, and there's biblical truth to this in Romans. There's a verse that talks about some of these things too. But it's almost like the natural. God has allowed the natural order of the world to take place. And I'll let you describe this in a minute when you talked about miracles, because I love the way that you described this. But the verse that stood out to me this morning, it was from Psalm 34:18. And in any tragedy, this is a verse that we should all keep at our heart. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. Amen. And saves the crushed in spirit. There's a lot of brokenhearted people this morning. I can't even imagine. Yeah. There's a lot that are crushed in spirit, but there's still that hope. And we don't understand why things happen, but we do have an idea that when sin entered the world, it threw everything off, and that God does allow the natural order and the law of the world to kind of work. And maybe explain that just from a pastor's perspective, because I'm still learning a lot too.
And it's not to say that we have all the answers. We for sure don't. God is still sovereign, and He's still, and we're not God. But when the Bible does make it evidently clear that in the Bible, in the beginning, whenever sin entered into the world, like you said, the death followed with it. When sin entered into the world, death followed with it. Death and destruction entered into the world, and bad things happen. But God has a plan of redemption. God can bring beauty out of ashes, as the Bible says. In the midst of destruction, in the midst of the effects of sin, which we live under. It doesn't mean that I don't want to mislead people to think that, if you sin, then immediately God's going to strike you down. No, it's the fact that we live. Sometimes sin has direct consequences, and sometimes sin has indirect consequences, and that it affects everything. The world in which we live doesn't operate like it was originally intended. I often tell people this at funerals. When God created the world, sin wasn't part of the plan. So the idea of emotions of loss and separation were something we were never created to bear, because that was never part of the plan. Not until sin entered into the world did the plan of redemption follow with it, and that would involve, obviously, Jesus Christ coming to earth and living and dying. So the message of hope in the midst of this is that even in the midst of tragedy, in the midst of brokenheartedness, in the midst of devastation, we still believe that God has a plan in the midst of that He can bring about His redemptive purposes and bring healing, as you said, for the brokenhearted, that He comforts those that are in the heartfelt emotion of loss. I was listening to one of the news stations, and they had a reporter there at the gate where these people were supposed to arrive at. Now, imagine, just for a moment, imagine you are there. You've taken off. That it was scheduled to arrive in 9 o'clock or whatever it was at that hour, and you've taken off time to go pick up your loved one for the airport. You're waiting there to receive them at the gate when they come off, and then boom, everything changes. In a moment, everything can change, and I think it's a reminder to us all the value of time and the value of life, and to remember to, in each instance, to appreciate the things that you have, because in the moment, things can change. But I will say, even for these that have lost the loved ones, remember that, as you said, God is close to the brokenhearted, and that in the midst of tragedy, God can bring about triumph.
Yeah, it's something for us all. You mentioned we don't know the hour, the time, the day. We don't know when that day or time is going to come for any of us, and that's why I think it's so important that we do cling to hope in Jesus Christ.
That's right.
And that we also, not that we have to sit here and dwell on this all the time, but realize that you have a purpose and strive and pray to live that purpose every day. And maybe this morning I'm still trying to figure out my purpose, right? I told my mom the other day, I said, Mom, I really don't know what the purpose of my life is other than to serve the Lord. And she said, that's all you need. That's all you need, and everything else will fall into play. And it's so true. And you mentioned about how precious life is, and yesterday, Bridget had called me. She's been at a training conference. By the way, the babies are doing good, so praise God for that. It's been, I don't want to say easy peasy because I don't want to like jinx it, but it's been pretty good for Daddy and the kids. They've been good. I figured out that gummies really help them.
Well, be careful. Explain what you mean by gummies.
Yeah, no. No. These little fruit gummies. Yeah, don't worry, they're not from some other state. But these gummies are, I'm using it to say, well, now if you're good, you're gonna get your little fruit gummies, and they've been great, man.
Fruit snacks. We call those fruit snacks.
Yeah, gummies. Words are used differently nowadays, Right. But Bridget is at this conference, and she told me yesterday she didn't have a chance to know this young lady, but she had worked in the same facility with her, just on a different floor. And this young lady was apparently 35 years old, a nurse here in Huntsville, and went to sleep and didn't wake up.
Goodness.
And I said, my goodness, you just never know. Even at 35, death does not deter from age or belief or anything. It could hit you at any given moment.
And it's like these were athletes, a lot of them figure skaters, probably competing and looking forward to their next event. And they think about the things that they're worried about in that moment. We've got to make sure we get here on time. We got to get there on time. We got to make sure we have this, and all these little things that pile up in our mind that bring us stress. And in a moment, we realize what's the most important. The most important things in life is, first, your relationship with God, and second, your relationships with one another. I always said this poem, there's one life to live, and soon it will pass, and only those things in Christ will last.
Wow.
So think about that when we go through the busyness of life. We never know what the next moment may hold, and all we can do at this point is just pray for these that lost their family members, and in this moment of tragedy, and not take for granted the time that we have here, and use it. That's what we've been talking about. This series on vision is using your time, using your passion to maximize your potential for use for the Lord. I mean, think about that just for a moment. Think about that, because Jesus lived 33 years. 33 years is all that he had.
And 3.5 of them were the ministry.
Right. Only 3.5 were in the ministry. And look at it, the impact, obviously, that he lived. Earlier this month, I turned 49. And I was just thinking, of course, every birthday that comes, it gives you a chance to think about life. And I just thought, I want my life, whatever time, it could be gone tomorrow, like this, you never know. But I want my time to be most effective at what I'm doing. I don't want to waste my time doing things that that are less productive. You know what I'm saying? So, Lord, help me to maximize my potential with my time and what you've given me, to invest it in those things that are most important. Think about how much time we waste.
Yeah.
Think how much time we spend looking at this, just and all of that. Just make sure, everyone, our moment of inspiration, make sure you are using your time the most effectively possible to build those relationships with God and build those relationships with one another.
That's good, Jason. Man, that's good. I was thinking when I mentioned the Bible talking about death and sin, and it's from Romans 5:12. Therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all sinned. And that's not casting judgment and saying that a plane crashed because of all these people are sin. We're all sinners.
Yeah.
Bad things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people.
Whenever I often explain it like this: think about a motor of the most finest sports car that you can imagine. That's finely tuned to perfection. I mean, one punch of the pedal and it's ready to roar. And then you take a handful of sand and you just throw it inside of that motor. And what's it going to do to it?
That's it.
It's perfect. It's made perfectly. But when that sand enters into it, it doesn't operate the way it was intended. It's a perfect example of this world. It was perfect. God looked at it and he said, it is good. He looked at mankind and he said, it is good. But then when sin entered into the world, things don't work like they're supposed to. And we live with those consequences. And the quicker we realize that, the quicker we can develop not a spirit of pessimism, but a spirit of optimism and hope. Not a fatalistic outlook, but an attitude of hope, knowing that this is not the end. This is not the end. God has something much better and bigger planned for those that love him here and now and to come.
Amen. It's time this morning to clean out your motor.
That's right.
Drain the oil and get an oil change. Get your life. That's a really good analogy, though, Jason. I appreciate you sharing that. Well, I know you got to go here in 5 minutes. I don't want you to be in the doghouse, so let's head over to the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line, Chile. And here we go. Let's call the winner today. I don't have any AI Deborah voice. Deborah won yesterday, and it was her own voice that I played back to her.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm not available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Well, if you ain't available to take the call,
chili.
You ain't available to eat chili. All right, let's get over to another one here. Let's get on down here and get the rest of it. Huh? This is Pastor Buzzy. Huh? Get on down here and get the rest of it now. I told you that story, didn't I?
Yeah.
Huh?
Going once, going twice.
Hello?
Yes, trying to reach Rebecca Harris, please.
May I ask who's calling?
This is your friends from the Good Morning Huntsville show. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. You had texted in this week, and you're lucky because someone didn't answer the phone, so we went to the second number, and it picked you. And I don't know if I think you entered in to win. We had that beautiful cross mirror the other day. Was that the day you texted in?
Yes.
Well, we don't have that today, but we do have.
Okay.
If you're not available this weekend, let us know. We'll call someone else.
Chili.
We have chili tasting kits for the Chili at the Lodge cook-off.
4.
4 tasting kits for Saturday and Sunday. Is that something you'd be able to attend?
Oh, we would like to, yes.
Yeah, go to it.
There we
It's
go.
awesome. You'll see a lot of people from Huntsville. This is always a well-attended event. There's live entertainment there, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and Jason and I won't be there. So we won't be providing the entertainment, so it's definitely worth going to since we won't be doing the entertainment.
It's definitely an upgrade from us.
So we'll have this for you for pickup either today or tomorrow here at First, and I'll text you. But, yeah, Rebecca, congratulations. A little chili tasting kits coming your way. How about that?
Wonderful. It sounds wonderful. Very excited. Thank you so much.
You bet. Hey, real quick, Jason's got a question for you.
What's one thing that you're thankful for about being here in Huntsville?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
What's one thing that you're thankful for about the community of Huntsville?
One thing I'm thankful for, the community of Huntsville, really just the community itself. Everybody is very kind for the most part, and everybody is just quick to help, it seems like. Yeah. When I was new here 4 years ago, we had our battery died on our car, for example. And out of nowhere, I made a post, and I had several people that quickly jumped on it that were able to be there and help and start our battery. And it was just a really warm feeling that, okay, great. There's people here that are willing to help, and it was just really nice.
That sounds like Huntsville. That's one of the reasons I love it.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, hey, have you won before, Rebecca, on our show?
I have not.
Oh,
no, I have not.
First time winner, chicken dinner.
That's great. That's great.
Final question. This is very important. Final question for you. Is it Huntsville?
Okay.
Is it Huntsville or is it Huntsville?
It's Huntsville.
Huntsville. There you go. All right, Rebecca. Well, hey, God bless you. Hey, God bless you. We'll text you information on how to pick this up. But congratulations, and you are going to Chili at the Lodge.
Chili at the Lodge.
Awesome. We were going to go anyway, so thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go. See you, Rebecca. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.
You too. Blessed day. Bye bye.
Huntsville.
If you ain't, hey, when's the last time you had a nice piping hot cup of Wolf Brand chili?
I do like chili, and I cook it from time to time at the house. It's a good meal for us because it makes a whole lot. I can throw some hamburger meat in there and get some, put some seasoning in there, and they can have Frito pies, or if they want to put it on a hot dog, they can put it on a hot dog, or if they want to eat it with rice and cheese or whatever, they can eat it like that. So I cook it from time to time, but Wolf Brand, I reserve that for the hot dogs.
Okay. Well, just before we go, Jason, I know you got to go, but I do want to share this. It's so very important this morning that we share this with our audience.
Here we go.
Here it is. Let's turn up the volume. It may echo, but it's okay. Here we go.
Between a Hollywood cowboy and the real thing. Say chili. There's a whole herd trying. But Wolf Brand delivers authentic chili taste with its unique blend of chili seasonings and lean beef.
So good.
It's a Southwest tradition.
Here's the question I asked you.
Plain and simple.
Neighbor, how long's it been since you've had a big, thick, steaming bowl of Wolf Brand chili?
Well,
that's too long.
That's too long, Jason.
Sponsored by IBS.
All right, there you go, Jason V. Hey, great things happening here at First. I real quick before we go, wanted to give an opportunity. You have been preaching on the Vision series. I'm so excited about what God is doing here in our community and throughout this year, especially here in 2025. Just give us a quick cliff notes on that sermon series and what people can expect this Sunday.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up this Sunday. We're going to be talking about the prayer of Jabez in the Bible, just having that big, bold vision for your life and seeing what God can do and seeing what God is going to do by looking back, but most importantly, by looking forward. And we're doing that as a church. And I challenged the people a couple of weeks ago to not just pray about what God is going to do, but to get up and do something. We looked at Nehemiah about taking that step, walking out in faith. And we've already seen, I'm so excited to be a part of what God is doing. I mean, it's just amazing. Because we've already seen people respond in a major way, not only writing their vision on the wall, that was your idea, but also just in the way that people have got behind and supported and called us and talked to us about what we believe God is doing here. The beginning stages of revival are breaking out, and I am so thankful to be in the midst of it. So, hey, I'd invite anybody. First of all, if you have a church, go to church. If you don't have a church, come and be a part of what God is doing here. I promise you won't be sorry for it.
And I promise you, Jason will get you out by noon.
That's right. We will get out by noon, and there's no football games this weekend, but the next weekend is Super Bowl Sunday. So
we'll be out by 11:58. So perfect. All right, that'll wrap it up. Big thank you to Jason. Hey, do us a favor too, just kind of an unnamed prayer, but we have a very special lady here at our church that watches this show almost every morning too. She means so much to us. Just please, she's battling a health situation, so please just keep her in your prayers. We love her and hold her dear to our hearts. And so if you don't mind this morning, just pray for that person. And hey, Huntsville, we love you. As I end every show reminding you, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you, and we will be back at it tomorrow morning. Billy Cawthon, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, as we wind it down in the Billy Cawthon Restaurant Report. We'll see you. Thank you, Jason.
All right. God bless.